I had been given coordinates that were not supposed to exist, classified, deleted from every official record, but someone had sent them to me anonymously 3 weeks ago.
Oceans. The ocean floor at these coordinates was listed as featureless, plain sand, nothing of interest. But my depth gauge readings that made no sense. And then my flashlight hit something that stopped me completely. At 180 feet below the surface of the Atlantis.
The stones were perfectly cut, not rough like natural rock. Machine precision pieces.
I followed the wall to the left for 40 meters, and then I found it, the gate. Above the gate, a carved relief, a city, hundreds of buildings carved in perfect detail. I passed through the gate, and the moment I crossed that threshold, everything changed. The water temperature dropped by 10 degrees. The main road was still perfectly intact, wide enough for 20 people to walk side by side. The stones, the buildings on both sides of the road were still standing. Not ruins, standing, wall. The road opened into a wide plaza. Stone stalls standing. On one of the stall countertops, still sitting there after 10,000 years, a clay vessel. I set the vessel back down without opening it. Some things should stay where they are, but on the ground beside the stones. At the end of the market square, the temple, the largest building I had ever seen underwater. I entered the temple. Inside an altar, still standing, still centered. Above it, the altar had offerings on it, stone bowls, metal objects, and in the center a carving. I lifted the tablet. It was lighter than it looked, made from a stone I had never felt before. I could not read the script, but there was one thing on the tablet I could understand, a map, carved into the... I had been inside this city for 20 minutes, and I had not yet... Between the temple and the city center the palace, a building so... Inside the palace the throne room, the actual throne still in position on its raised platform, made from a... On the throne pendant, something I was not prepared for. A crown, still sitting on the throne. I reached for the crown, and then held, behind me a sound. Not a natural ocean sound. I held completely still. The vibration came again. Closer. The water around me moved. I left the throne room without the crown. Some things are not meant to be taken. I followed the map. The city center was visible from the palace exit, a raised circular platform in the absolute middle of the city. The closer I got, the warmer the water became. My dive computer was reading 28 degrees, then 30. I went up anyway, step by step, the temperature rising with every step. By the halfway, in the center of the standing stone circle, a column of water rising from the ocean floor. I reached my hand toward the column, and the moment my gloved fingertip made contact with the surface of it,
The voice said that. We have been waiting. We knew you would come.
The column of light began to show images, like a projection. The history of Atlantis. When the images stopped, the column dimmed, and something happened at the base of the platform steps. A section of the platform floor.
Below the city a completely different world. The underground level was enormous. The machines were maintaining the city above. Every light, every thermal vent, the water column. At the far end of the underground chamber, the vault door, covered in warning symbols. But also, beside the door, I pressed my hand against the carved print. My black gloved hand fitted perfectly into the carved impression. The vault opened. Inside Tane, not treasure, not weapons, not technology, a lion. I pulled one tablet from the shelf. The script was the same as the tablet in the temple, but this one had something different. One diagram stopped me completely. I recognized it. The principle. Atlantis had fusion energy. I could not take any tablets. I could not carry them. But I filmed every single one I could reach. 40 sessions. And then my flashlight found something that made the library irrelevant. In the far corner of the vault hiked a modern agent. The dive light was a specific model, expensive, military grade, and engraved on the barrel. They had been here, they had found it, they had classified it, and they had left this light behind by accident or as a warning. My air was critical. I needed to leave. But as I moved toward the vault door the door began to close. I got through. 1 second later the vault sealed. The symbols went dark. The handprint air at 5%. I needed to ascend immediately. I turned away from the sealed vault and moved toward the underground staircases. I climbed the stairs back to the city level, and what I found above stopped me completely. The city was and then the ground moved. A tremor. Low, deep. The entire city shifted. The city was shutting down. Systematically, in order. The machines below had stopped. The light sits. I was heading back toward the main gate when the ground moved again. This time differently. A scourger. The city was moving upward at roughly 1 meter per minute. I had minutes before the city would bring me with it or trap me. I reached the gate, and I stopped. Because outside the gate town, the ocean floor was now 5 meters below me. I jumped from the city gate down to the ocean floor, 5 meters. In the water you fall slowly, Bernice. I ascended as fast as safely possible, the city rising below me at the same speed I was rising above it. At 60 feet I ran out of air completely. I dropped the tank, I had 6 feet of open water above me and
40 feet. The light above was close now. My lungs were burning. Below me the city still rising.
20 feet. I could see the surface rippling above me. The entire city below now glowing, brighter than it had ever been during my dive. 10 feet from the surface I looked down one final time. The city was fully lit below, the light column rising past me toward the surface. 10 feet from the surface I looked down one final time. The city was fully lit below, the light column rising past me toward the surface. I did not surface. I held at 10 feet, watching. The city was at 100 feet below me now. The city stopped at 80 feet, exactly 80 feet below the surface, not surfacing, not revealing itself completely. I dove back down to the city. One final time. No air tank. Free diving.
I swam to the gate one final time, looking into the city from outside. The
city felt different now. Not abandoned, not waiting. Complete. Whatever purpose Atlantis. I pulled back to 20 meters from the outer wall, and I filmed the complete exterior of the city from outside. In the final 5 feet before the surface, I looked down one last time. The ocean below me was dark, empty. I stopped, 4 feet from the surface, because my GoPro was still recording, and it had just picked up something. I am going back. Same coordinates. Tomorrow. Whatever came up with the